This week was not the week I had planned. I had every intention of sitting down to create another episode for season 2. I had notes, ideas, deadlines, a plan. And then life reminded me that sometimes the plan changes. Not because we've done something wrong, not because we failed, but because sometimes life asks us to slow down. The irony isn't lost on me. Over the last 2 episodes, we've been talking about identity, about worth, about the danger of tying our value to our paycheck, our title, or our productivity. And then I found myself in a situation where I couldn't move at my normal pace. I couldn't do everything I usually do. I couldn't show up the way I normally show up. And suddenly, those lessons weren't theoretical anymore. They were personal. Can I be honest? Slowing down sounds wonderful until you're forced to do it. We talk about rest. We post quotes about rest. We encourage other people to rest. But when it's our turn, that's a different conversation. Because slowing down often brings something unexpected to the surface. Discomfort. Not physical discomfort. I'm talking about emotional discomfort. The discomfort of not producing. The discomfort of not checking things off a list. The discomfort of sitting still long enough to hear your own thoughts. And that's when I realized something. Some of the pressure I was feeling wasn't coming from life. It was coming from the expectations I had placed on myself. One of the lessons I've learned over the years is that rest has a way of revealing things. When we're constantly moving, constantly solving problems, constantly producing, we don't always notice what's happening underneath the surface. Movement can become a distraction. Busyness can become a shield. Productivity can become a hiding place. And this week, I found myself asking a difficult question. Who am I when I'm not accomplishing something? Who am I when I'm not checking a box? Who am I when I'm not helping someone? Who am I when I'm simply being instead of doing? That's not an easy question, but it's an important one. Because if our value is only connected to what we produce, then every slower season feels like a loss. At the bounce back journey, we often say, your past is data, not damage. This week reminded me that the same principle applies to our present circumstances. Instead of judging myself for needing a slower pace, I started paying attention. What thoughts were showing up? What fears were showing up? What assumptions was I carrying? That's data. Not criticism, not shame, not failure. Data. And the data taught me something important. Rest revealed things productivity had been helping me avoid. I'll say that again. Rest revealed things productivity had been helping me avoid. Maybe you're listening today from a slower season of your own. Maybe life didn't go according to plan. Maybe your body is asking for something different. Maybe you're caring for someone else. Maybe you're rebuilding. Maybe you're grieving. Maybe you're simply tired. I want you to hear me clearly. Your value has not decreased because your pace has changed. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not less worthy because this season looks different than the one before it. Sometimes slowing down isn't quitting. Sometimes it's wisdom. Sometimes it's healing. Sometimes it's preparation. Sometimes it's the assignment. This week reminded me of something I think many of us need to hear. You do not have to earn your worth through exhaustion. You do not have to prove your value through constant productivity. And you do not have to apologize for seasons that require rest. Maybe your season isn't about doing more. Maybe your season is about learning that you are still valuable when you do less. Your past is data, not damage. And sometimes your slowdown is data too. Thank you for spending this time with me.